Welcome to the YouTube channel Just Information. I hope you all are fine. Today we will learn class 8 physics chapter Newton's law of motion last part. So in this part we will learn some interesting things. So first is helping an astronaut to reach his spacecraft. Helping an astronaut to reach his spacecraft. So, an astronaut drifts away from his spacecraft and his connecting cord gets disconnected. He is floating alone in the space with nobody to help. In this situation, what does he do to reach the spacecraft? So, in this situation, an astronaut is floating near his spacecraft. If he wants to move towards his spacecraft, he should generate a momentum towards the spacecraft. For this, he has to throw an object away from the spacecraft such as an opposite momentum is generated, taking him towards the spacecraft. If he does not have any object to throw, he can split away from the spacecraft. Next is the working of a rocket. The momentum of a rocket before it is fired is zero. When the rocket is fired, gases are produced. These gases come out of the rear of the rocket with high speed. The direction of the momentum of the gases coming out of the rocket is in the downward direction. Thus, to conserve the momentum of the system, that is rocket plus gases, the rocket moves upward with a momentum equal to the momentum of the gases. So the rocket continues to move upward as long as the gases are ejected out of the rocket. Thus, a rocket works on the basis of the law of conservation of the momentum. Next is action. When a balloon is burst. So, the momentum of an inflated balloon before it is burst with a pin is zero. When it is burst with a pin, air in it comes out with a speed in the backward direction. Thus, to conserve the momentum of the ball, it moves in the forward direction. So, an inflated balloon lying on the surface of a floor moves forward when burst with a pin. Now, we will hear an interesting story of Newton and the falling apple. The story is Newton and the falling falling apple. Sir Isaac Newton, the great English physicist, was born on Christmas Day 1642 as Woolstoffer in Lincolnshire. At school he did not do well, though he was very good at drawing and mechanical inventions. An uncle of his, aware of this talent, arranged for him to go to Trinity College, Cambridge at the age of 19 in 1665. He did his graduation from there in 1669. Isaac Barrow, a professor of mathematics with whom Isaac Newton worked, gave up his professorship so that Newton could succeed him. He did this because he saw an extraordinary talent in Newton. Thus, Newton became professor of mathematics in Trinity College at the age of 27. It was a short time that the idea of applying the laws of gravity to the whole universe first occurred to the young scientist, but it was not until the 1687 that the Principia, his masterpiece, was published in which the theory was presented to the world. Isaac Newton finally laid the basis for the development of modern science with his three laws of mechanics and his theory of gravity. The theory goes that the falling of an apple set his mind thinking what made the apple fall. This question led to the discovery of universal gravitation. Although this was his most prominent work, his researches on light were the tremendous importance to science. His chief accomplishment in this field was the analysis of the composition of light, which he announced is a combination of various rays causing different color sensations, white light being a mixture of all these. During the early 17th century, the Polish priest Copernicus suggested a heliocentric solar system. This had led the German astronomer Kepler to propose the laws of planetary motion. The Italian physicist Galileo had then put forward a new mechanics based on this. Newton was soon becoming heavily influenced by their discoveries. He developed the work which Galileo had begun and formulated his famous three laws of motion, which are still the basic laws of our mechanics. Newton's first reflecting telescope, with which he saw Jupiter's satellites, was made in 1668. 4 years later, he was made a Fellow of the Royal Society by 1699. He was Master of the Royal Mint, feared and hated by the counterfeiters of London underworld. He was knighted by Queen Anne on April 15, 1705. After that, in his 85th year, Sir Isaac Newton became ill and died in Kensington on March 20, 1727. Newton's genius was to put Kepler's laws and Galileo's findings together. The motion of gravity, which came to him with the apple fell from the tree, would eventually be seen as same power which held the moon and the planets in orbit around the sun. The laws which applied on Earth also applied to heavenly bodies. Kepler's law merely described what happened. Newton explained why. I hope you've understood this video. For any queries and doubt, you can join the Telegram link given in the description of this video. Like, this is the foundation of class 8th. We have covered the foundation of class 7th too. The links are given in the description of this video. This was our last part of Newton's law of motion. In next video we will start new chapter of physics. Thank you.